We're Phoenix writing some more. Or at least I am. You don't have to. You can just watch. Yeah, to summarize, it is a Phoenix Wright game. Alright, here we go. No, to summarize, we arrived in Khura'in, which is totally not Japanifornia. Somebody, like, the first person that we met was immediately framed for murder. And in this country, nobody is defense attorneys because everybody hates defense attorneys to the extent that they passed a law that says if you are a defense attorney, you are automatically found guilty for anything that your client is found guilty of. And they insinuated that happened, like, wait, at some point we're gonna jump back and go, okay, this is the origin of the whole thing. But more importantly, they also do court trials by divination. They have a girl come out and dance, and then they Obra Dinn style show you the last moments of the victim, and you have to, despite it looking like your client is super guilty as always, they go, oh, okay, well, I'll prove he's fine. So at this point, we have the real murderer on the stand. He looks like hippie Jesus, but then now he looks like metal Jesus instead. And what's his deal? He caused a blackout and then hit the guy over the head while it was dark out. You made me think I was muted. I'm not muted, right? Did you have me muted? And then you blamed me. See, this is what happens when you let Volton phase in the stream. Messes everything up. I'm kind of like half not in the mood for Phoenix Wright. Like, when I streamed on Tuesday, by the end of the stream, it wasn't that my voice hurt, but I felt, like, tired of voicing, but it's whatever. We'll see how it goes. I might only stream for, like, 2 hours today. It's not. Well, that also is Volton Face's fault. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for always checking up. Alright. For the whole, like, past day, all that I've eaten is, like, pizza and candy, so I would imagine that contributes to why I don't really feel good right now, but whatever. We'll get through it. Well, I guess you're right. Pain is back, obviously. This is the country that he fled to after he was disgraced as a prosecutor, to a world where you literally cannot lose any case ever because nobody has defense attorneys, and they just go, yeah, it was freaking magic. We saw you do it. You're guilty. The recap briefly. I did just recap it, but I guess you had me muted. So we went to visit the country or whatever of Khura'in, where Maya is. The second we stepped off the plane, we met someone, and they were instantly accused of murder, or framed for murder. We have the real murderer on the stand right now, of course. Frump is here.
All right.
Frump, thank you for that host.
If you're leering at me, it's creepy.
You're just in time. I was just recapping. Someone was framed for murder, that they murdered someone and stole the sacred treasure. In this country, there are no defense attorneys because everybody hates defense attorneys, and they passed a law that says if you are found guilty, then you and your defense attorney both get the same punishment. So nobody in their right mind would be a defense attorney, so we immediately spoke up and said, I'll be his defense attorney. They also use magic here. It doesn't count as magic, it's spirit mediums, it's nanomachines, it's parasites. A girl comes out and dances, and Ur'gaid style shows you the last moment of the deceased, and goes, "Yep, there's your guy killing him." And you're like, "Yeah, but it's probably not my guy actually killing him. You know how it is." And so we managed to find out that actually the real murderer, we know that he did it. We've got him on the stand. We just didn't quite finish him up. Ur'gaid is here too, and also people are invisible when they're exactly the right color. People are invisible. I don't have a green screen. For a moment, I thought you meant that. Like, oh no, I forgot to fix my green screen controls, and I'm completely see-through, but that's not it. Oh, well, because your guess is as good as mine. Rabble, rabble, rabble. What is this lawyer talking about? Rabble, rabble. Just give him the Oh, right. That's right. Yeah. You wear a pure black cloak and you become see-through. Got it. And also, if the wall is green, then you can put your hand through it. Except not really, because it's nanomachines. Except not really, because it's actually Soparil beta. they just put people to sleep. All right. Is there no way to win them over? Defense. Are we going to be needing those tongue shears after all? No, Your Majesty. I also hate that the judge is called Your Majesty. I guess it's, like, funny because, like, a magistrate is what you would call a, I don't know, judge-type person or something. But it sounds so similar to Your Majesty, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say over and over, and they totally say it over and over. And this guy has the audacity to play music and speak in rhyme. I hope he gets the death penalty twice. Yeah, man, do it. Then we can jam out to this lawyer's shrieks of pain. Ha ha ha. Better get those screams of agony out now, lawyer man, while you still have a tongue to scream with. His name is Pees'lubn and Andistan'dhin. They went totally overboard with the jokey names. The guy that we're defending is named like I'm a tour guide. As to why the victim was holding the treasure box, it can easily be explained as thus. Brain, don't fail me now. What reason could the victim possibly have had to be holding that treasure box? The victim was holding the treasure box because he was... Wait, was the victim the thief? No. Or what? We don't know this. Hold on. I have not considered that the thief and the real murderer were both trying to steal the thing at the same time, but we haven't seen anything that would suggest that. Or have we? I mean, this, I guess, would make the most... Accuse the guy of stealing? It's an idea I just happened to stumble upon. Fortunately, it was multiple choice, but I think it just might be the answer. And it would gyakten this whole Saiban Kurikaisu. Hello, defense? Are you still with us? Let's hear this easy explanation you promised. Isn't it possible that it was because the victim himself was the thief? The victim? The thief? What kind of bull are you spewing now? Your Majesty, this guy's off his rocker. If the victim was the thief, everything we've learned so far would all make sense. Including the magic dancing girl who shows people's last moments. And it would give us a completely new way to interpret the victim's After the morning dance of devotion, Mr. Roll, the murdered guy, is a security guard named Patrol. Mr. Roll went to the treasure room. He grabbed the box that contained the treasure and started to take off with it. But then he ran into Albie. On the yeah, Albie Ur'gaid. Ran into Albie on the Great Stairs. That's why Mr. Roll pulled his gun on Albie. Then, when the blackout occurred, he was incinerated. Mr. Roll was bludgeoned to death in the darkness. This explains why the victim would be holding the glowing treasure box in the dark, and how it would have been possible for someone other than the accused to kill him.
Do you have any idea what you're saying?
You're an unbelievable lawyer, man. I think you've lost it. Haha! That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Roll trying to roll the temple? That devout believer? That pious Khura'inist? I won't allow you to disparage the victim's departed soul with unfounded allegations. I hope you're prepared to back up your claim. Of course, Your Majesty.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
Uh-oh. Proof, huh? Do I have any proof? But I can't back down now. Yes, I have proof. In my dreams. The proof that Mr. Roll was the thief. He's leaning a little too hard on me. He knows he's got an actual genius in the pilot seat. So he's bluffing real hard this time. He may have been left behind by a certain piece of evidence. Very well. Let's see your evidence, and be ready to stand behind it. Footprints, fingerprints, I'll take anything at this point. I need proof. Something that would have been involved with the theft, and that might still have some trace evidence left on it. It's Are we just gonna, like, get... No, hold on. This might have to be a total guess. We're gonna use this at some point. It's probably something in the stupid crime photo, and then they're gonna say, well, where in the photo? He's got blood on his hand. Yeah, let's try it.
Take that!
Oh, the defense would like to examine this piece of evidence. Would you now? I don't think that piece of evidence will give us any answers. Whoops. Ugh. Alright. Ugh. Okay, don't overthink this, Phoenix. He's like, I just dove headfirst and said, of course I have proof of a thing that I just thought of, Dadoy. It's gotta be something that might still hold some trace of it being touched. Isn't he wearing gloves? Hold on. Are we gonna... I'm just gonna say the box. And if the victim was the thief, what's something he would have touched? Okay. Alright, just tell me. This time show me evidence you can stand behind.
Take that!
The defense would like to examine the treasure box. There might be trace evidence on it that would show that the victim had held it. Might. You'd better hope you turn up something more definitive than that defense. Yes, sir, your majesty. Very well. Bailiff, bring the treasure box. There you are, defense. You're free to examine it. Once I find something now, my entire argument up to this point will be blown. Plus, just that little matter of the old tongue shears. I have to find something. I just have to. Now, to make sure I remember how to do this, I can rotate the evidence by swiping the screen. I can also pinch... Uh-oh. That could be a problem. I only have one mouse. No, actually, that's a lie. I did just order a second mouse. So... let me just plug this into the second control port. And if I ever get too kurikaisu'd, I can always tap reset. I better search every inch of this box carefully. Tap anything of interest. Okay. That is perfect timing, yeah. Okay, well, did I miss something? How do I... I can't actually move this, this hand. Hopefully it's not a problem. This is the lock. It was forced open. I don't see anything else of note about it. So this is where the Founder's Orb was, huh? I doubt there's any trace of the orb left here now. Although I don't really know anything about the orb, so who knows? There's a butterfly relief here. I've seen the same butterfly shape here and there all over Khura'in. Interesting, but I guess it doesn't really help me prove anything. The lid of the box was forced open. But while the victim was holding the box, the lid must have been closed. I'll try closing the lid, too. Hey! What? You son of a... You locked it. So? What's the big deal? I thought you can open it with that key or whatever. Yeah, I can. No sweat. Then why is there a bucket load dripping off of you over there? I think I'd like to open this box back up again. Could you lend me your Magatama key? Sure. Okay, let's see. Where's the keyhole? Well, it's the Magatama key, so wouldn't it go in the hole above the Magatama mark? Huh? It won't open. Would you look at that? The thief must have busted the lock when they forced the box open. Really? I'm not so sure about that. In any case, I better take another good look. I have to find proof that the victim was holding this box. Ah, this bloodstain, it shows the outline of a hand. Could this be what I've been looking for? Your Majesty, take a look at this. There's a bloodstain here that outlines the shape of a hand. Really? Let me see that. Oh my, you're right. Now I'm getting somewhere. I believe the bloodstain is an outline of the victim's hand as he was holding the box. What? Even as he was being struck, he held on tight to the precious treasure box. After all, he'd gone through a lot of trouble to steal it. He'd gone through all the trouble of walking into the room and picking it up. The blood from his head wound splattered across his hand and onto the box.
Your Majesty, don't let yourself be taken in. That it's just more of his lawyerly deceit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Wright, where is your proof that the outline is that of the victim's hand?
What? I should have seen this coming.
Either show proof or prepare to meet the shears. Or you could save us all some time and bite your tongue out now and submit it instead.
That? I did not see that coming. Well, defense, how about it? Do you have proof that the outline is of the victim's hand? Where would the proof of something like that even be? Okay. It's right there.
Take that!
I've got it. This is the evidence that's going to save my beloved tongue. Mr. Payne, despite your claims about my forked tongue, it just so happens I have the proof you require.
You do?
It's right here in this crime photo.
Is it? Where? Defense, please point it out.
It's his gun. Everyone knows the only people who have guns are people who have been bludgeoned in the head and were holding a Khura'in box with their blood splatter. Okay. See this? That's blood. Objection, you don't know that. If we place Mr. Rawls' hand inside the bloody outline... But what if the glove does not fit? You think the blood on his hand would complete the splatter? Exactly. Here goes nothing. And if they do form one complete splatter, it would prove my theory correct.
Then, the victim really was holding the box?
I'm willing to bet my life on it. The defense reasserts that the victim was the thief who stole the treasure box.
You can't be serious.
It's the first time we've seen... So, of course, it's Payne, so we know that he's bald. But that was the first time they've done that, where his crown and attached hairpiece, I guess, were misaligned and he rotated.
I protest. There's no way they would ever match up. I assert that it's patently impossible for... Ow!
Talk about tongue karma. Sounds like he just bit his. What's the matter, Mr. Payne? Did your forked tongue get tangled up in there? Or were you trying to submit your own tongue to the court?
What?
Alright, lay it on me.
I can hardly believe it. Apparently not everything out of the defense's mouth is a bluff.
Of course not, Your Majesty. This tongue doesn't lie, and I'd like to continue to use my tongue in the future, too, if you wouldn't mind. Mr. Wright, are you trying to seduce me? He never has to know it really was a bluff. No, not Mr. Rawls. I can't believe it. I'm sorry, Albie. I know it's upsetting news. He must have needed the money badly, probably to support his family. That's why he was going to steal and like, who? Where's the buyer? Where's the buyer for a soul orb? After all, he even gave up his dream of becoming a monk to help them. Oh, so that thing Mr. Rawls would say to me. Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say. Yeah, he was probably warning you not to end up a thief. Mr. Rawls.
Now wait just one more minute. If the victim was the thief and he was holding the treasure box, then that means Mr. Rawls was holding the murder weapon when he was killed.
Oh, that's a very good point. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Objection!
If the victim was holding the treasure box, it couldn't have been the murder weapon. Which means the real murder weapon must have been something else.
The real murder weapon was something else?
The blood was thought to have gotten on the box when the box was used as a weapon. But it turns out that that wasn't the case. The blood splattered onto the treasure box the victim was holding when he was struck with the real weapon. That's what really happened. Isn't that right, Mr. Andistan'dhin? Are you insinuating I'm the one who used this real weapon? Are you saying I'm wrong in my understanding? Ahaha, stretch, because his name already was a joke. You got me riled up, lawyer man. I feel a song coming on. I'm not singing. Yes, very nice. Yeah! I know I don't need to remind you, defense, that your life is on the line. I know, your majesty. Yet you're prepared to risk it on this mere idea of a real murder weapon? Death to the lawyer. I guess. This is it. The moment of truth. I can't back down. Not now. Yes, your majesty, I am. I'm confident the real murder weapon does exist. That's a bold claim, Mr. Wright. Now let's see you back it up. Show us which piece of evidence points to this real murder weapon. Gladly, if I knew which one it was. What would somebody like Andistan'dhin use to bludgeon someone? Now then, defense, please submit your evidence to the court. Yeah, let's see it, lawyer man. Let's see this thing that shows the real murder weapon you say I used. It is this picture where he is holding a different guitar. What I'm about to present is really nothing more than a possibility, but this thin thread is all I've got. Allow me to direct the court's attention to this photo of the morning dance of devotion. That photo, how is that going to help you, Mr. Wright? There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. Oh yeah? And what's this something, This thing here is odd, to say the least. It's the anime girl! There's no such thing as anime.
Take that!
Mr. Andistan'dhin, why is the instrument you're holding different from the one you're playing in the photo? Would you look at that? They're completely different shapes. I believe you said your Damalin was your one and only. Well, Mr. Andistan'dhin, what do you have to say to that? I got nothing to say. Then allow me to answer for you. They're different because the one in the photo is no longer in playable condition. Not after you used it to bludgeon Mr. Rawl to death. My old partner wasn't doing so hot, so I brought her sister along, that's all. Not a big deal, lawyer man. In that case, please submit your old Damalin to this court as evidence. Too bad, you're too late. I got rid of her yesterday. You what? Burned her up? Oh my god, he threw it in the incinerator. Ashes to ashes, baby. Ha ha ha. He's already destroyed the evidence. And I see more trash right here in this courtroom that needs to incinerate in the fires of hell. Lawyer trash. Now there's no proof to show. Oh, come on, that was pathetic. Your agony can sound better than that. Where's that great scream of yours? This can't be how it ends. When did Jesus try and kiss, by the way? Yeah, he had... At first, he was all like, oh, yeah, hippie, man. Yeah, oh, kumbaya. And then when he got serious, he plugged his guitar in and started shredding. It seems the defense is unable to procure the evidence it needs to prove its assertion. But your majesty, that's only because the witness destroyed it. Evidence is everything in court, except in this court where actually just magically looking at the killer is the court, and we haven't had a proper court trial in 20 years, according to what everyone just said. Don't tell me you've forgotten this most fundamental principle of our profession. Without sufficient proof, your claim that Mr. Andistan'dhin is the murderer is no more than conjecture. Arg! There's the pained expression I've been looking for. Oh, by the way, there seems to be one more thing you're forgetting. What is it now? You accused Mr. Andistan'dhin of being the thief, but the real thief turned out to be the victim. Uh-oh. And with that, Mr. Andistan'dhin's purported motive for murder goes out the window. Ah! Great point, prosecutor. You tell him. If I had been there, I would have just collared Roll and got the treasure back. There wasn't any reason for me to kill him now, was there? There's no good counter-argument to that. It sounds to me like Mr. Andistan'dhin has been completely wrongfully accused. Unfortunate as it may be, I think it's time to hand down the verdict in this case. Not good, not good. Defense, I trust you understand what you yourself will receive for taking on this case. I already made a dies a death joke last time when they chanted death like that. What do I do? The murder weapon's been destroyed, and now I've got no motive. Poor Albie will be convicted, and I'll lose my life too. Mr. Wright, you've wasted this court's time and disparaged everything we hold sacred. We should charge you with lèse majesty in addition to the crime of abetting the accused. Yeah, you should pay for desecrating my good name. I disagree. It wasn't a good name. Bye-bye, lawyer man. Time for you to do some repenting in the Twilight Realm. This guy's guilty as sin. I just know it. He must have had some reason to kill Mr. Roll, but what? Yo, what's up, Tulid? Oh, and the bot is running, but it only recognizes it if you start it with the 2000. Time to take this lawyer trash out. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. I shouldn't be trying to figure out what Andistan'dhin's motive was. I should be thinking about what kind of situation would give him a motive. Did you steal it? He said. We know that Mr. Roll was the thief, and that he had gotten his hands on the box. So then why? Why in the world did he ask Albie that question? What about the treasure box would have prompted him to... It was empty? Defense, what's gotten into you? Now I get it. Now it all makes sense. Tell him, Phoenix. Like, Pulkunka, man, what you trying to say? Muttering and squealing to yourself. Sounds like you knocked something loose upstairs. Void Arc. It's yours now. Your Majesty, please hold off on your ruling for just a little while longer. Don't tell me you're going to start begging for your life now. No, Your Majesty, that's not it. It's just that I realized something important. We've been operating under a serious misconception this whole time. A misconception, you say? That's right. A mistaken notion about the treasure box. Could this really be true? If so, there's still a lot to figure out. Very well. Let's hear what you have to say. Thank you, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, this is just more of his nonsense. He's just stalling for time. This is your last chance, Defense. The second I find it really is nothing but nonsense. No amount of begging will stay my hand. Understand? Yes, Your Majesty. We all know this is just going to be another one of your stupid bluffs. Now then, Defense, what is this misconception you mentioned? The thing we didn't realize about the treasure box was that... I guess it's gonna be that it was empty. I'm still not sure why the key doesn't work. I don't think he would have said anything if he said it didn't open. I don't think it was empty. What if the treasure box was already empty from the start? What? What? Okay, so the guy that we just said, okay, he was the thief. It all makes sense. His family was poor. He was going to sell it and pawn it on the street. Right? I impugned his good name, and now we're going to turn around and go, oh, actually, he picked up the box because somebody had already stole it. Never mind, he's a good guy. Please recall that when Mr. Roll ran into Albie on the Great Stairs, he asked the boy a question. Did you steal it? He said. Also, recall that Mr. Roll was holding the treasure box at the time. So why, then, did he ask Albie the question that he did? That is a bit peculiar, isn't it? Not at all, Your Majesty. Not once you realize that by the time Mr. Roll got to the treasure room, the treasure box was already empty. I beg your pardon? Mr. Roll suspected that Albie had gotten to it first, which is why he confronted Albie when he ran into the boy on the stairs. But how would the victim have known the treasure box was empty? He didn't have any way of opening it. Once a year... Did we know this? What? Once a year, the victim had the duty of carrying the treasure box to the palace. He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box, he even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite. Okay. I had forgotten that. He would have been able to tell by the weight? To be clear, the thing inside is supposed to be like... What? I forget what it was. I forget what they called it. Like a soul orb or something. How the hell do you know how much it weighs, Phoenix? Oh, I see. Yes, I suppose he would have been able to tell, wouldn't he? Mr. Roll most likely decided to at least steal the empty box. It's an important historical artifact in and of itself, after all. Gah, but what's your point, Mr. Wright? What does any of this have to do with Mr. Andistan'dhin? My point is this. It gave Mr. Andistan'dhin a motive to murder the victim. A motive? Mr. Andistan'dhin, keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, isn't it? So if anyone had found that the treasure was missing, you would have been accused of incompetence. From the moment Mr. Roll discovered that the treasure was gone, his fate was sealed, because you decided then that he had to be silenced forever. But that's absurd! Can you believe the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth? This is all just a colossal joke. So then, what really happened to the treasure? It had been stolen long before this incident occurred, by Mr. Pees'lubn Andistan'dhin himself. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to accuse Mr. Andistan'dhin? Your Majesty, please don't listen to these trumped-up charges. The defense is grasping. The treasure box can only be opened with the key Mr. Andistan'dhin holds. Who else could have stolen the treasure? As I said, the accused stole the treasure by forcing open the box. Your Majesty, I call for a swift ruling. I'm not ready to give my verdict yet. What? The defense has successfully presented a new possibility in this case. Yes, finally, a tiny shred of hope. Mr. Andistan'dhin, would you care to make any statements in response to the defense's claims? Grog. I don't think those are statements. This is all bull. My noggin's a rage cage and it's ready to explode, baby. Alright, sure. Instructor Andistan'dhin, please calm yourself. I'm not gonna take it. No, I ain't gonna take it. I dutifully watched over that treasure with pride. And now I'm getting accused of stealing it? This lawyer is a lying scumbag. Yep. You better believe I got something to say. Open up your ear holes, sheeple. Let's rock. Okay. Testify. Ah, it's still in rhyme. Steal the Founder's Orb? Me? I did it? Yeah. Rhyme. Alright. Now we've heard from both sides. Either the treasure box was forced open by the accused, as the witness claims, or Mr. Andistan'dhin opened it, as the defense claims. Defense. This is your last chance to cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Majesty. If you are unable to prove your assertions by the end of this cross-examination, then the DC Act will come into play, and you and the accused will lose your lives. I understand. Life or death. It all comes down to this. Mr. Wright. Don't worry, Albie. I'm here to defend you. I promise it'll be all right. Thank you. I believe in you, Mr. Wright. I know you can win this for us. And after we win, we can go see Miss Maya together. Misters Gamers, hello? It's a deal. I can't let Albie down. I have to win this trial. Somehow, I have to prove that only Andistan'dhin could have stolen the treasure. Do your worst, lawyer trash. This is your requiem. The last song you'll ever hear on this mortal coil. What's up? Just having some fun with Phoenix Wright. 6th game. I keep calling it the 6th game, because I guess Apollo Justice counts as part of the main series. You got the original trilogy, and then Apollo, Dual Destinies, and now this game. And this is still the first case. They've completely done away with having the first case be like an easy tutorial case. Force the box open.
Hold it!
Yeah, I don't remember. Were you... Was it like way back, like Mass Effect? I'm trying to remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the defendant didn't force the box open. That's a lie. In fact, you're the one who opened it. Isn't that right? Come on. You just saw for yourself, didn't you? The lock was busted on account of the box being forced open. Oh, yeah. Well, there's your proof right there. Alright. Score 1 for the metalhead. Look, if the accused really didn't try to force his way into the box, then how do you explain why the lock was busted and wouldn't open it for you earlier? How do I explain why the box wouldn't lock earlier? Maybe there's a different key or a different way to open it. Maybe there's a different way to open it. There's a different way to open the box. He stuttered. It's wrong. Huh? What are you talking about? There's a secret trick to opening it to protect its contents from being stolen. And you're the only one who knows how it works. Isn't that right? Are you for real? You've been watching too many movies, lawyer man. Oh, okay, it was Apollo. All right. Oh, or it could have been... Okay, yes. I did also play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Only the first one. Ah, so you're one of those tourists. Honestly, Mr. Wright, did you come expecting magic and mystery around every corner? I'll have you know, Defense, the kingdom of Khura'in is not some sort of fantasy funland. Ugh. It's true, I don't have any real grounds to make that assertion. And yet... Oh yeah, I feel another song. Oh, another song. Come on. Ah, new verse. Please do add it to your okay. Alright, so we've added this to testimony. Alright. The real method to open the lock, you say, delusional man, there ain't no other way. There it is. I was wondering how the song lyrics were going to, That's it.
Objection!
No! Ow. Was I supposed to press on it instead? I was too hasty.
Hold it!
Delusional, am I? We'll see about that. I'm probably ahead of the game, yeah. Oops. Indeed, the defense's sinful wrongdoing has made him lose touch with reality. Let's hear it. Nothing, because I'm not the delusional one. I just know there's gotta be some secret trick to opening the treasure box. Oh, really? And where exactly is this secret hidden? Where on the box is the secret exactly? Well, it's the carvings. There's definitely something going on there. I needed him to bluff some more on his own. Are you sure? You're sounding a little desperate, Defense. Desperate? Not at all, Your Majesty. The carvings the accused snuck in to see, even though it's forbidden, I might add. Witness, can you tell us anything about these carvings on the box? Of course, as head monk, I know all about them. Okay, so we actually needed more. Got a new phone, kind of waiting to... Hopefully that doesn't take you too long. I could stand to get a new phone. The carvings depict a Khura'inese butterfly as it carries a soul to the Twilight Realm. They were made in around the 7th century. Wow. Super old. Could you add that information to your test? Okay. Fine. Listen up, lawyer trash. I've had it with this guy. Yeah. Oh, look, we're playing the witness. I get it. I get it.
Hold it!
Yeah, the music too. To have it like stop and start like that. And it's a little loud. I believe this butterfly design conceals some sort of secret. Oh yeah? Why don't you check it out for yourself then? Huh? What's with the smug look on his face? I think I'll do just that, Your Majesty, if I could. Nothing unusual here. Well, Defense, what have you discovered? I'm afraid I haven't discovered anything, Your Majesty. Here, I'll return it. I told you, didn't I tell you? Ugh. Then in that case, there must be some secret trick to the key. Now you're suspicious of the key, are you? There's just no reasoning with this man. The accused forced the lock open. There's no other explanation. That's right. He desecrated the box by opening it without using this Mitma key. Wait, what did he just say? I'll sing it as many times as I have to get through your thick lawyer skull. For the forgetful defense's sake, could you please... Okay. Let's get this done. Yeah, let's have to change it. I believe the witness just made, or sang, a very important statement. I would like it switched into his testimony. Very well. Witness, if you would. If I have to, carve it into your brain, lawyer man. There must be some secret trick to this key. And what exactly is this secret trick? What's that smug look for? Maybe something like, it can change shapes. Shape memory alloy. Wow, man, that's some wild imagination you got there. I'll give credit where credit's due. You can daydream like a champ. Just like any Megatama, this key is made out of a translucent material. One look and it's pretty obvious it can't change shapes. Yeah, I wasn't really sold on that one myself. But I felt like there was something odd about Andistan'dhin's testimony just now. I think I'd better take another look through the evidence. I think if you die, they don't actually put you back very far, but just in case.
Objection!
No. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, game over. Phoenix dies. By all means, you can try again. Absolutely, by all means, you can try again. Gavel. I have heard enough. This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charges filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused, Ur'gaid, and his defender, Phoenix Wright,